Hello everyone, and welcome to another very beautiful chess game of famous Bobby Fischer. And in this chess game, Bobby Fischer is playing with the white pieces, and his opponent is Orest Popovych. And this game was played in the 57th US Open chess tournament in 1956, Oklahoma City, July 26. And Bobby Fischer became the 5th place in the tournament. He didn't win the tournament, although he has never lost in that tournament. He won 5 games and drew 7 times, but lost 0 times. So this game is one of the most beautiful chess games of Bobby Fischer in the 57th US Open tournament in 1956. So 13 years old Bobby Fischer starts the game with playing knight to f3, knight to f6, g3, g6, and bishop to g2 by Bobby Fischer. And Fischer is playing the King's Indian attack. We have bishop to g7, and if you noticed, black is playing the similar way. So Bobby Fischer castled, also black castled, d3, d6, knight from b to d2, e5, e4, and both players are fighting for the center. Knight to e8, c3, f5 by Popovych. Bobby Fischer played d4, f4, d takes on e5, d takes on e5, knight to c4, and both players are exchanging the queens. Knight to c6, g takes on f4, e takes on f4, knight to d4, knight takes knight, c takes on d4, f3. And so far black is doing a good job. This pawn looks like a very dangerous pawn, and the king's safety is compromised for white. But on the other hand, Bobby Fischer occupied the center with these 2 pawns. So f3 attacking the bishop, and Fischer played bishop to f1, knight to f6, knight to e5. And in this position, Popovych didn't capture the pawn on e4. If knight takes on e4, black is losing on the spot. So Popovych played bishop to e6. If knight takes on e4, then we have bishop to c4, that's check. Besides defending with the rook, the only logical defense, king to h8, and then knight to f7. If black not captures the knight with the rook, we have king to g8, and then knight to d6, winning the knight, king to h8, and knight takes knight. And white is a piece up. So bishop to e6 by Popovych, defending the bishop. So bishop to c4 is not possible, but Fischer played d5, attacking the bishop, knight to g4, attacking the knight. So if pawn takes bishop, knight takes knight. Fischer played knight to d3, bishop to c8, bishop to f4. And Popovych decided to sacrifice the exchange, and he played rook takes on f4, knight takes on f4, bishop to e5. Attacking the knight, and also attacking the pawn on h2. So white has to defend the knight, and Fischer played knight to d3, and then bishop takes on h3. King to h1, bishop to d6, bishop to h3, knight to e5, knight takes knight, bishop takes on e5, bishop to e6, that's check, king to g7, rook to d3, bishop takes on e6, d takes on e6, king to f6, rook from a to d1, rook to e8, rook takes on f3, king takes on e6. So we basically have bishop and the rook against 2 rooks endgame. So king to g2, advancing the king, a5, a4, b6, rook to d2, h5, rook from f to d3, doubling the rooks, rook to f8, rook to f3, bishop to f4, blocking, defending the rook and attacking the rook. Bobby Fischer played rook to c2, c5, defending the pawn, rook to b3, and attacking the pawn, defending with the bishop, bishop to c7, rook to d2, rook to f4, attacking the pawn on e4. So Fischer is also attacking the pawn on g6. So Popovych is defending with the rook, rook to f6, rook to f3. Fischer wants to exchange the rooks for simplifying the game, and that would be an easy endgame for white. So black is declining the offer and black played bishop to f4. Fischer played rook to d8, g5, and actually this bishop is a very strong bishop. We have rook from f to d3, rook to f7, rook to h8, king to e5, and then f3, defending the pawn, h4, and Fischer played a killer move. Well, Bobby Fischer played rook to h6, attacking the pawn, and also Fischer is threatening checkmate. So the only defense, Popovych played rook to f6. If defending the pawn with the rook, rook to b7, what happens next? Then we have rook to d5. Checkmate. So Popovych is defending with the rook, rook to f6, and Fischer, of course, captures the rook happily. King takes on f6 and then rook to d7, king to e5, rook to b7, attacking the pawn and how to defend. Well, there is no way, so Popovych played king to d4, and then Bobby Fischer captures the pawn, rook takes on b6, and this is all over for black, but the game continued. Popovych didn't resign, maybe he is hoping for a miracle. We have c4, rook to b5, bishop to c7, defending the pawn. And before capturing the pawn, Bobby Fischer played rook to d5, king to e3, and then Bobby Fischer captures another pawn, rook takes on g5. And only now Popovych resigned. A very beautiful endgame by Bobby Fischer. And let me show you the possible continuation, but please note that this is just one possible continuation and there are many others. So if h3 check, king takes on h3, king takes on f3, e5. And how to stop the pawn? If bishop to d8, rook to h5, king to e4, and e6. Well, the fifth rank is closed for the king. Fifth rank is occupied by the rook. So king to d4, king to g4, bishop to e7, and white captures another pawn. So let's play a few more moves, bishop to d6, rook to f5, king to e3, a5. And black can't really defend these two pawns, and this is all over for black. So this is why, after Bobby Fischer captures the pawn on g5, Popovych resigned. A beautiful chess game by 13 years old Bobby Fischer. But of course he didn't win the tournament. But he showed his potential with playing very accurate chess in the tournament, so he has never lost any game in the tournament as a 13 years old kid. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. And I hope to see you next time. Take care.